also a youth member under the Raleigh chapter.
Yeah, so we just wanted to reflect a little bit on what we kind of felt watching all of the beautiful young kids going through the Ekal schools. Both of us have visited schools when we went to India on our trips respectively. And I think to say the experience was eye-opening was obviously that's an understatement, but I think just sitting down here looking at how they're going through these schools, the everyday life that they're going through. I mean, one of the girls is traveling 7 kilometers every day to just learn how to use these computers. It's very it's truly inspiring. I mean, we really are taking a lot of the opportunities we have in the United States for granted. And so to be a part of the Ekal chapter and learn about all the experiences that we're not really taught at in school, because again, the United States is really focused on the United States. So to learn about India is not very, you're not really learning about it. And so Ekal has really taught both of us a lot about what it means to really appreciate the opportunities you have and how you can better that for third world countries.
Yeah, going off of what Sandhya said, I think it was a really eye-opening experience to visit a school in India, but also this Zoom meeting helped me see that there's so many other parts of Ekal outside of just children's education. I was really curious to learn about the fertilization and how the farmers were taught that, or about the health stuff, because that's so different from what we do here in America. We use chemicals for fertilizer instead of using organic materials, and I love how they're advocating to stop using chemicals in India, which is so different from how they do it in the United States. And also the education system here is so much like the public schools in India. We kind of learn more about memorization, and it's by set grades, but that one teacher was talking about how she teaches based on what the kids are intellectual in and what level they start off at, and I think that was really different from what we do here. And both of us come from immigrant families. Both of our sets of parents have immigrated from India to the United States, so being able to learn about the education system that they came from and kind of how privileged we are and how privileged they are to come to America is really interesting to think about, and we're really grateful for that.
Amazing.
Vijay, and I'm a 12th grader from the Raleigh Youth Chapter.
Hi, I'm Siri Budampati, and I'm also a 12th grader from the Raleigh Youth Chapter. We just wanted to start off saying how grateful we are about Ekal and how we were able to get involved with Ekal. I think giving back to the community and where our parents are from was really important to us. And kind of how we started using this Ekal nonprofit event to get more events and have more fundraisers to raise money. It started off with us starting a club in our high school. So for a year, we joined Ekal, just part of the Raleigh Youth Chapter. We were the leads with 2 other high school students. And the next year, during our sophomore year in high school, we decided that we wanted to start a club in high school. This way we could cater to everybody in the high school, not just Indian students, but also non-Indian students who are curious about the large Indian population that was at our school, kind of how education was in rural India, and kind of having events that were for that. Through our school chapter, we did workshops during our clubs, such as we did, I think, cards maybe. We did videos talking about it. We were trying to do sending videos to schools before. And another thing that we did was our volleyball tournament that we had last year and the year before that. We were able to raise around $400 from the first one, but it was more about youth engagement and kind of getting to know people in the area to know more about Ekal and what it was about.
So kind of transitioning into more of our donors and how we wanted to appreciate them. So after kind of the establishment of our club in our high school, with the help of Nina and Revanti, we were able to kind of expand what we were doing to appreciate our donors in the process. And so after our first year as the Ekal Raleigh Youth Chapter, to celebrate our success and also our donor success, we had our black tie event / donor appreciation event, last September of 2024. And so me, Siri, along with Ari and Tara, who are now in college, were able to plan sponsors, plan entertainment, plan how we invited the donors, how we got the venue. A lot of it was youth engagement, and we were able to raise $44,000 and gain over and we were able to gain 100 pledges for schools. And so what our black tie event was just for, again, like a donor appreciation event. And so we sent out invites to all the donors in our area to come join us for a more youth-centered event. And so what I mean by that is all of our entertainment, all of the dancers, all of the singers were all youth. And so that was to show the donors that, hey, the youth got this, we can continue Ekal's legacy. And so being able to kind of talk throughout the event, we had a timestamp where after every 3 entertainments, we had youth come up on the stage and talk about our experience with the Ekal Youth Chapter and how we were able to make a difference and how we hope to continue to make a difference.
I think a big part of that black tie event was also the professionalism of it. The black tie part, we wanted to show that as youth leaders, we are able to hold a really well-structured event that would kind of cater to that age group, but also we wanted to show them that, hey, the youth that are part of our high schoolers, that are part of our college dance groups, like high school singers, they are also wanting to get involved in this and participate and volunteer as performers for this event. But we did want to give them a little bit of a different event from what they've seen through our annual events and kind of show them that youth initiative is powerful.
And so to continue on the work we were doing in the Raleigh Youth Chapter, we've been doing small events throughout the year. One event we had was the art market, where we took youth artwork and artwork from all around and sold that at the art market at the Hub Sub Diwali. That's an event in North Carolina that's throughout the Diwali time where people come together, nonprofits come together to kind of do work in the local area. And so we were able to sell artwork and get some money for Ekal. Another thing that we thought was really cool was that we had a Bollywood night. And so that wasn't directly correlated to us starting it, but a young girl who was interested in Ekal's cause, totally unrelated to the chapter, came up to us and said, hey, I'm doing an FBLA event and I want Ekal to be the receiver of all my funds. And so we were really blessed to know that the youth work that we were doing in Green Level High School and Panther Creek High School was going all the way to other high schools that weren't directly correlated to the clubs. And so Ekal was a receiver of all the funds that were received at the Bollywood night hosted by Apex High School,
which is a side high school from River. But we were able to raise, I think, around $10,000 from that event. That was just from ticketing, from them selling their tickets. So that was really successful, and even though we weren't the ones planning it, we were the benefactor, and we were able to still engage with the youth that came to that event.
And continuing on kind of the work we're doing, so like Siri said, we have our $1 a day clubs. That was labeled after, the club was named after how the financial upbringing of Ekal was prior to the change in the funding of the schools. But we had our first club meeting 2 weeks ago, and we had over 40 new members who were interested in joining after hearing about what we were doing last year. And so after we graduate high school, we're 12th graders, we want to continue to keep Ekal alive, and we will be still interacting with the club as college students. But to keep that legacy alive, we have a lot of students who are still interested in Ekal, and so we're really proud of the impact that we've had, considering even 2 years ago, no one really knew what Ekal was in our local area.
And I think going off of that, I know we talked to a lot of adults that were kind of struggling with starting to get youth engaged in their chapters. But I think having a club in schools, either it's middle school or high school, that's a great way to start building those years and years and years continuing. After we graduate, we have people in our club that are part of the now Raleigh Youth Chapter that are going to continue the club. And after they graduate, they'll help people that are freshmen coming to high school, help them continue the club. So that's a great way to connect your school and your 4 years of high school into the youth chapter that is in that area. And I think that's kind of what we're encouraging all these chapter presidents to do. Start looking for high school students or even younger than that want to get engaged in Ekal, and kind of let them know that you can start a club at your school if that's availability. Try to start clubs in school, if not out of school. That's just a great way to continue, just to keep like the generations flowing with Ekal.
Yeah, and also just one thing to round off, all 4 of us, I know I say 4, but 2 of them have graduated, they had a big impact on the club as well, have visited schools in India, and so the impact that we've had visiting those schools, talking to the students has really changed what we kind of see as our vision for Ekal. It's not just something that we're doing to raise funds for, it's something that we're changing lives for. And so before we kind of say our thank you, can everyone give a round of applause to Bina and Team Rihanna for coming?